show your appreciation for Thiago. Anfield, one last time for Thiago. Thiago will now join the Guard of Honour. And next up for one of Jurgen's first signings, one of the best free transfers the club made in the modern era. Harmless personified, he clubbed up just over 200 games and scored vital goals along the way. 7 major honours, including the Champions League and the Premier League. Please show your appreciation for Matip. Matip, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, Anfield, we have 7 key individuals who will be calling them out one by one. Please show them your appreciation for their dedication to the club. The first of our departing staff joined Liverpool from Bayern Munich in 2016 to take up the role of Head of Fitness and Conditioning. He's been a vital cog in laying the foundations for the team's success over the last 8 years. Please welcome Andreas Kohlmeier. Andreas Kohlmeier, ladies and gents, boys and girls. And each member of the staff being presented with special frames here commemorating the trophies along the way. Next up, a key figure behind the scenes, our General Manager of First Team Operations, who worked for Liverpool for more than 15 years, serving under 5 different managers. He provided an elite environment, support and structure off the field, so vital for the players during that period of success. Please welcome Ray Hoffman.
Well, Jamie, as we were talking about earlier on, Jurgen Klopp wants to make sure that every member of his backroom staff is remembered here, as well as himself. He wants to share in that time with them. We've already seen Thiago being commemorated. We've seen Joel Matip being commemorated. Players who, Thiago, it's been a question of injuries. With Joel Matip, there's been that partnership with Van Dijk that has produced not just a great defensive partnership, but occasionally a mazy run into the opposition area. But in terms of this backroom staff and what they do, it speaks to the unit that Jurgen Klopp is trying to build. Even going back to things like bringing in a specialist throw-in coach that was sort of laughed at and ridiculed a little bit at the time, but is now, I suppose, in retrospect, seen as innovative.
Yeah, and listen, the backroom staff here, maybe outside of Liverpool supporters, people won't know too much about them, but for Jurgen Klopp, they're as important to him. And there's probably been only one criticism of Jurgen Klopp as a manager. Maybe at times he's been seen as being a little bit too loyal, but he wouldn't say that. And this is why, for him, some of the members of his own staff come up here as important as him, and they've played a major part in being involved. And he wants to make a fuss of everyone, because for him, it's always about the collective. It's not just about him.
And the T-shirts with "Thank you, love" on the front. I think Jurgen just trying to give a nod to the fact that he's adapted himself. He's assimilated himself to the city. He was saying himself in interviews this week, and obviously there have been a lot of interviews this week, that he's not actually been into the city centre that many times, maybe just a handful of times, because he can't go into the city, but the city's welcomed him.
Well, you said a handful of times. There's probably only a handful of people who could bring Liverpool city centre to a standstill, and he's one of those. So, you know, it's probably been the best idea of his not to go in there too often. He went there initially on his first night here and was made such a fuss of before he's even managed one game. So, yeah, I mean, these are unusual scenes for a football club when, you know, almost at the end of every year, the players who've given something back to the club really get commemorated like this and get made a fuss of. But that's, Liverpool want to try and do things differently. Seeing under Jurgen Klopp, they talk about being more than a club, doing things differently, and not really caring too much what other people think. This is what we do, and this is what Jurgen Klopp does.
You talked about bringing the city centre to a standstill. Liverpool did that with the parade that they have after winning the Champions League. And then again, as you were talking about, doing things that seem strange from the outside, having that parade after losing the Champions League final in Paris, but they hadn't celebrated the Premier League trophy that they'd won because it was done in COVID times. So there was a sense of kind of retrospective celebration as well. But Klopp himself said, you know, you wouldn't get this anywhere else. People wouldn't go out and line the streets in hundreds of thousands for you when you've lost at a Champions League final.
Exactly, and the world we live in now, there's so many people telling you what you should and shouldn't do, and these type of people spend half their lives not doing anything themselves. So if you want to do something, enjoy yourself, don't worry about what other people think. And that's probably one of the biggest things I love about Jurgen Klopp. He only cares about the supporters and hearing what they think about the football team, the way they do. He doesn't care about the outside world, and that's what makes him the man that he is.
It's John Acterbird, the goalkeeping coach, who's making his way up now, and he's, you know, you look back at some of the signings that have been made under Jurgen Klopp's time here, and Alisson could be one of the most significant of them. The spending of the money that was made when Philippe Coutinho was sold on Van Dijk and Alisson were hugely significant in terms of them winning trophies.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, they'll be looked at as part of this Jurgen Klopp era. Obviously, it ends now. It ends tonight. But obviously their careers, hopefully, have got a few more years left in them at Liverpool. And those two players will be the cornerstone of the new manager's ideas going forward, and whether Liverpool are successful or not. I mean, there's sure to be comings and goings, obviously, but those two will be looked back in years to come as two of the best players we've ever seen at this club in their position.